Hi, I'm Anna Johnson. I am the head of school at the Wolf School and I've been here for 24 years. So I was a student teacher at the Hamilton School at the Wheeler School, and met one of the founders of the Wolf School, Rosie Granoff, who told me about the Wolf School. It was a brand new school that was just getting started in its first year, and she encouraged me to meet Andy Wallerstein and Mary Sloan, the founding parents of the Wolf School, who would be hiring a teacher for the following year. And I went down and met with Andy and Mary and basically fell in love with the two of them and the whole idea of the school. There was 3 students at the time in one room, renting space on the east side of Providence at the Jewish Community Center, and that was basically it. So the first year I had 3 students in my classroom at the JCC on the east side of Providence. I had a co-teacher who was across the hall with 5 students. The school had only 8 students altogether. What I remember is my tiny classroom with no windows and a very small closet. So I had a lot of stuff stored in the back of my car throughout that school year. So I'd bring all my materials back and forth and bring things in from my trunk when I needed them in the classroom because there wasn't enough place to put everything. I also remember, being sort of the classroom teacher, office manager, answering the phone, because we had a very tiny little office with no head of school at the time, and the phone would ring and parents would call and we would stop teaching and we'd run across the hall to answer the phone in case one of the parents needed something or needed to give us a message. That was my first year of teaching. Jesse, Sarah, and Eli. They were my first 3 students in the class, and that was my classroom. The classroom that had no windows. That was like a tiny little hole in the wall with a teeny tiny closet. Yes. Oh. So that picture should be thrown in the garbage. That was a field trip that we took to Bridgetto's Market. I was still a classroom teacher, and those were my kids, and I was very, very pregnant. And that was the year that we moved into 215 Ferris Avenue. That was the first year we were here. Seeing some of these pictures, I really feel like the best thing you can do to reflect on the 24 years is do an Anna's hair through the ages, because I mean, that happens to everybody, I guess, is different hairstyles, but 24 years of hairstyles is a lot of hairstyles. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I see that picture. My hair was a lot darker. I didn't have any gray hairs, and I was not coloring or highlighting my hair at the time. And this was Paula, of course, and 2 of our TAs. Paula was, in 2009, she must have been a classroom teacher, I would imagine, at that time. She started as a teacher assistant for us, and now she's our director of enrollment. So she must have been classroom teacher at the time when we had that at Fall Fest. This was the renovation that we did when we added the faculty room, the library renovation, and the additional classroom. Room 5's new classroom. Yeah, so that was the groundbreaking for our, that would have been our 3rd capital campaign. And it was really my first capital campaign that I was part of as the head of school. This was definitely one of our Discover the Difference events. This was at the Biltmore, and this is Otto, our founding student. It's very weird to see him as an adult, and yet it's just amazing, because when I think about when I knew him when he was 8 years old and how difficult it was for him to learn and how dysregulated he was and just how much support he needed, to see him now as a functioning, amazing adult with a full-time job, living on his own, driving a pickup truck. It's absolutely amazing, and really the reason why I'm certainly here. So I'm so grateful. Oh boy. So the Wolf School has seen it all. My entire life has flashed before everyone's eyes at the Wolf School. So this was one of the most embarrassing days of my time at the Wolf School, when my now husband came to Wolf because he knew what a special place it would be to do this, and for me to do this in front of people that I care so much about. And so, and certainly the Wolf School is a huge part of my life. So he came in to an all-school assembly. It was in November, and he proposed and did the engagement in front of the entire school, which he knows that I would absolutely hate. However, the fact that he did it was at Wolf was pretty special. And what I do remember is at the end of the engagement, or after he finished the proposing, and I tried to end the assembly, just so you know, I tried to end the assembly and walk out so that it all did. Once he got there, I kind of was suspicious that something was happening. And so, but at the end, one of the students said to me, raised his hand, and he said, "Are you still going to be the head of school?" And that was just so special and so sweet. And I said, of course I'm still going to be the head of school. I really wasn't sure when I finished my undergrad program what direction I wanted to go in. I know that Brown had a master's program in teaching, an MAT program, which was a one-year program, and I thought, well, I might as well do that and do that program for a year, get my teaching certificate so that I could at least start teaching until I figured out what I wanted to do. My whole life I've always, babysat and was a nanny, and I always worked with kids. So I knew that I wanted to be doing something with children, but I really didn't think teaching was the direction I was going to go in. And then did my graduate program and ended up at the Wolf School teaching and loving it. And so did I think I was going to be would I have been anywhere for as long as I've been here for 24 years, which is now more than, half of my life? I don't think I ever could have imagined that, but I have absolutely no regrets in that, and I absolutely think it was the best thing that I could have ever done. So I'm so lucky to be here. This was a look back with Anna Johnson. I hope you enjoyed.